to set.
Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Action!
There's a lot of ground to cover here, AKAPADers. Before we get any further, let's give out some credit. This Wonder Man miniseries 2026. It's the Marvel Cinematic Universe spotlight. It's similar to what we saw with Werewolf by Night. I'm not sure what classifies anything as a spotlight. I guess it's a little bit of a form break where Werewolf by Night was kind of like this one and done feature. This is it looks like maybe it's a one and done miniseries. Every episode roughly 30 minutes, so maybe it's a little bit like the format is a little bit different than the rest of the MCU's, or like Daredevil Born Again, like hour plus long every single episode, or like a 2.5 hour long movie. With all of that, Wonder Man 2026, I keep wanting to say 2025, is one of the best. There is something magical here, and we're talking movie magic here, right? A little bit of a theme of this miniseries. Aya Abdul Menton II. I cannot pronounce this guy's name, but he's I believe he was in The Watchmen, and he's Lovecraft Country. And Ben Kingsley. There is a chemistry here that is magical. And you just want to see more and more of these two getting into trouble. It's like you want another episode. And this whole series brings us through this journey of living in Hollywood, growing up in the modern world, dealing with regrets, dealing with strife, getting through our past, reclaiming our history, especially with Ben Kingsley's character. And we get this epic of friendship and emotion. And everything ends in this prison break where we see our hero. We wait all season to see our hero. And our hero emerges to save his friend. And then we get this expansion of the world around the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like the world within the world, and people might call it world building, and all of this other stuff. And then we have Wonder Man, who's a character no one has ever cared about ever, period, in the history of all of Marvel Comics. I believe, what was his first appearance? Like 42, 43. He was a villain. He dies, becomes like a ionic entity in the 90s. I don't know what he's up to now, comic book wise. But he was always like the Marvel Hollywood character in the Marvel universe. He had like a stellar 90s comic book series too, AKAPADers. Early 90s, not later in the 90s when he dies and becomes a ionic force. Comic book history is complicated when you drill down into it. But we have this definition of what a hero does. And a hero doesn't always do what's best for like the entire world or what's best for the universe. And he doesn't have to fight Thanos or defeat an army or overthrow a government. Like, again, like weird, complicated things that we saw in James Gunn's Superman. And I believe there is a little bit of a fair comparison there, because here the struggle is an individual that is trying to do the impossible by finding a career in Hollywood while not being the hero he was like in a way designed to be. He wants to be in front of the camera. He wants to be a part of culture, and he wants to contribute. And all these things that he's trying to do on the film set are, in fact, again, the allegory and the meta aspect here is just fascinating. What he wants to do on what Wonder Man's trying to do, we see this early on, like within the first couple minutes. What he's trying to do on the film set is what he's capable of doing in the real world. But he rejects it. And we see this theme in Jason Momoa's Aquaman, where King Arthur has not pulled the sword out from the stone. He has not drawn the sword. He is not the King of England. He's rejecting it. He's running away from it. Kevin Costner's Robin Hood deals with a similar theme. And at the end, he basically gets both. He gets everything. And then we're introduced to these other villains and other characters that buzz around Hollywood and this universe. And they're all equally interesting. We get this damage control, which is in effect working as a different shield. It's really weird to have this Doorman too is the villain character. We don't have shield. One of the biggest mistakes of the MCU. We have damage control, which is never damage control even as a comic. I mean, it could never have been published and it would have been fine. Shield is embedded in Marvel lore, Marvel mythology. Them getting rid of Shield post Captain America Winter Soldier, it's a buffoonery. But Arian Moayed, who plays our Shield, he's our new Agent Coulson, but he's our damage control front guy. Masterful. I love him on camera. He is, I don't know why. He's cool and exact and exactly the way that character should be. So we have something special here that my world has walked away from. People are in a state of like limbo on this. I don't know if this will ever find an audience. Isn't that upsetting when we talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Because we have this, and tonally this works so much with Thunderbolts. But we have Thunderbolts, which I think is one of the deepest, most psychological superhero movies we could ever hope for and want. I get the new Avengers things, well, whatever, like that hook was, whatever, but the movie itself, Fantastic Four, which seems to have gone over so many people's heads. I absolutely loved Fantastic Fours. And then this. So what are we doing here? And you can even throw in like Wolverine, Deadpool, right? As like the last of the epics. In my view, they're on a little bit of a run. And some of you might put Daredevil, Born Again in there. I don't know. I'm not going through everything that these people put out. But we have like I think, a well-established character. We have all of the Ben Kingsley stuff. Trevor Slattery is, a.k.a. the Mandarin, from all the way back in the 2013 Iron Man 3. The way how they rounded out everything with the Mandarin is absolutely fantastic. It's spectacular. It's comic book storytelling. They retconned the hell out of it, explained it, and it works. It just works. And there's an other Mandarin. It's there. They did great work on this, aka Padders. I hope this finds an audience, and this does get me, into what's happening next, which would be Daredevil season 2, which would be or Born Again season 2, the new Spider-Man, and then it would be Avengers Doomsday. If things are trending in that direction, I think there's a little bit of a footing that's reestablished. But I kind of like how, like in Hawkeye, like Kate Bishop, Moon Knight, even She-Hulk, to where now they've spent a lot of time establishing these characters, and you're familiar with them, even with Echo. And I think Echo too, like, deserves way more credit, because I finally got all the way through that. I don't like some of the inner decisions where they kill characters, where they, again, get rid of something like S.H.I.E.L.D. I think there's a little bit of, through the comics, we know what works, so don't get rid of it. I think that's the biggest takeaway. And you cannot make everything cool or accessible or bring it to a wider audience and expect a Guardians of the Galaxy effect, which we saw with She-Hulk, which we're seeing with this. We even saw it with Moon Knight. Cool, nice stuff, but it doesn't, it doesn't get over the fence. AKA Padders, Wonder Man 2026 deserves your time, deserves your attention. I'm probably gonna watch it again.
Roll sound.
Rolling.
Sound production,
Let
take
me
2.
cut in. Sorry, AKA Padders. I know it's such a hot, passionate episode, but I'm breaking the flow real quick just to remind you guys. If you want to support me, one of the best, easiest, and free ways to do it, leave a comment. Give me a like. I know there's someone out there that you know that loves film as much as I do, that love the film industry as much as I. Show this to them. Comments, likes, and reviews, positive or negative, it doesn't matter. We need to increase our reach, and to do that requires your involvement in everything that I do. We're linked. We're forever bound. You're the membrane. I'm the muscle. So guys, let's just do it. One review. Do you have it in you? Okay, back to the show.
Okay, that's a wrap.